Good morning, Sainers. Welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. Hope you've all had a great week so far. It's Friday morning. It's match preview time. It's round 21. The season is coming to a close, the last month of the season, and we're back at Marvel Stadium on a Sunday, 1:40 p.m. against North Melbourne. Back to the scene of celebration, Marvel Stadium. It's going to feel nice. I might even sit in the exact same seat as last week, to be honest, just to get there early. I know the club are going to show the last quarter in its entirety from 12:22 p.m., so about an hour before the game, which is incredible. So that's going to hopefully bring the vibes, and we can hopefully carry it through for the four quarters, because that's, I guess, as a Saints fan, you guys understand better than anyone that, after you have a celebration like that, after you have a performance like that in the last quarter, you enjoy it. But then for the next game, you're like, can we please carry it through for the four quarters? Can we please not rely on one quarter of brilliance to get the job done against a team? And, do you start to worry about, was that the first three quarters more reflective of where we're at, or was it the last quarter? I personally think the brand, it just seemed much more natural in that last quarter. So hopefully that is sort of a sign of things to come, to see a midfield with Max Hall, with Naz through there. No Filippo in the team based on the ends last night. It's extended bench, but Hugo Garcia looks to return, which is exciting. And then you got Rowan Marshall and Marcus Winhager and these sort of guys floating through there as well. So we'll have a pretty exciting team on the park, which is great. North Melbourne have got some players returning as well by the looks. Larkey, Wardlaw will be one, and I think Cooper Harvey's probably the other one they all think that is going to get the gig. For us, we've got Toby Travalia, who had a good game against in the VFL last weekend. Hugo Garcia returning, and Max Heath as well. No outs, but obviously the surprising one is Lance Collard's not named as an out yet, but he was on crutches in the final siren, hugging Nasai Wangan in Malira. So I'd imagine, I haven't been down to training this week, so I don't know if he's actually trained, but that's staggering. If he was on crutches and he's turned out to be okay, that's pretty decent, because I know we had 5 tests this week and he was one of them. So maybe it wasn't as bad as first thought, which is great. North Melbourne, they came off a flogging last week against Geelong. Jeremy Cameron kicked 11 goals, well documented. Their biggest loss of the season. They are without Tristan Cherry, so Rowan Marshall will be up against Brian Teakle. So it's a bit easier this week. No disrespect to Teakle, but Rowe's just come off playing against the best ruck of the last 10 years in Max Gawn. So I think Rowe will obviously invite this level of competition, and hopefully that means we can get a bit more dominance in the midfield for the majority of the game. We got it in the last quarter, but like I said, the first 3 quarters, Max Gawn was mainly the difference in the game. He was feeding it down the Melbourne midfield's throat, and they were getting first use and then clean entries into the 50, and that's part of why they were 46 points up at 3-quarter time. So Ron Marshall, big game there. I think maybe just the fact that he nailed that last kick, maybe it's little things like that I think that just builds confidence in your ability, in your form. You can have such a bad game, but if you nail 1 or 2 things that really are the key factors in winning or losing a game, then I think you can go into the next week with fuller confidence. And that whole lineup, you could go in unchanged based on the last quarter just to say, guys, you just did something incredible. So I'm not going to change the team. But we've got some youngsters to come back in, which is exciting. Toby, Hugo, and Max. So we'll see what happens there at 5 o'clock today. Otherwise, obviously the main worry is Nick Larkey back. So Cal Wilkie, Caminiti to play back. Taru might float forward more so. He looked pretty good there last week. But they've got Jack Darling, Cam Zerha, and obviously Nick Larkey. So those are the 3 mains. But we can't discount Paul Curtis. He's been in incredible form. Their best small all season, and McKercher, I rate him very highly. He's named at half forward, but he normally runs off half back and into the midfield, and he's probably the best kick in their team. And obviously Harry Sheasel, who's well publicised, and we all know the talent that Sheasel has. But they've got, for me, when I look at North, they've got a lot of individual talent, but it's just not coming together as a team at the moment. And I did a podcast during the week and with the North on the North pod, and they kind of made it clear that yeah, there's parts there, but it's not clicking as a well-oiled machine. Whereas I think we at times look a little bit more like a well-oiled machine in terms of our structure. We haven't got the wins on the board, similar to North, but we've gone through probably nearly 2 months now of pretty consistent football, apart from the first 3 quarters last week. Yeah, that was the game we won. We've played 4 quarters in other games we've lost, and we play 1 good quarter in this game and we win. So football is a funny game. You don't know when you're going to get your moment, but when you get it, you got to take it. And last week we did. So North are going to want to rebound. So this is, a dangerous game. You kind of had it written in the stars that yes, we'll win, but of course North are going to be put under the microscope this week and want to rebound. They've got a pretty good coach as well in Clarko, although there are question marks on him and whether he's passed it. But I think he'll have them up for this game, but I think we'll be up for it too. We don't have the luxury of going into this thinking it's going to be easy. Look at what happened against Melbourne. So North on their day, they've had, their bottom 2 at the moment, but from their results, you look at them, they have been more competitive this season. They've beaten up on a couple of teams. One of them was Melbourne, and on their day can be quite dangerous. So we just need to make sure that we go into this and really come out of the blocks. I think in particular, the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes last week, and the Geelong game, we've been 4 goals to 1 down within 15 minutes. So, and last week we kicked the first goal of the game. So I think the start's going to be really critical. I'm not too bothered with like individual matchups. I think across the board, I think we are well balanced to handle them. Toby Pink, he'll probably play on Cooper Sharman or something like that. But that's why I think maybe a Max Heath comes in, or we play Taru forward to stretch them a bit more. They've got Comben, Pink, Griffin Logue. If you break even, I think I can back Mitch Owens, Sharman, and a Taru, Max Heath in that situation to hurt them, and Mason Wood, who got on the scoreboard late in the game. So in terms of the teams, the number 1 ranked player out of the 2 teams, no surprise, Nasai Wangan and Malira. Rowan Marshall's right up there, Jack Sinclair, Jack Steele, Jack McRae. Their number 1 ranked player for the season is Harry Sheasel, and then the next is Tristan Cherry, who is not playing. So I think that's a direct link. You don't have Cherry, hopefully their mids don't perform as well, and one of them is Sheasel. So I think we're in the box seat. I don't want to jump the gun, but if we can play like we did in that last quarter, which is the big question mark, right? Every St Kilda fan going to the game and watching on TV or listening on the radio on Sunday at 1:40, in the back of their mind is going to be thinking, please, can we just play that way for the whole game? Because if we do, we will win. We will win this game comfortably if we play that way for even 3 quarters. We will win this game comfortably, but look at Melbourne. They played great for 3 quarters. They switched off and they lost in dramatic fashion, but they still lost. That tells you just need to be switched on. You don't need to be playing your best every quarter, but you need to be in the game and switched on. So if we're not having it our way, control the momentum when North have it. Because they're going to give it it's the last 3 or 4 games of the season. Both sides have had disappointing seasons. They're coming off a polar opposite to us. We're coming off this euphoric moment, history making. They're coming off being ripped apart and just at an all-time low. So we can't take this game for granted, and I'm sure Russ will have them up for it. And the fact that we're showing the last quarter before the game is exciting. I'd love to see some news before then. Some announcements would be good. I reckon you'd get a bigger crowd as well. Last home game of the season. So if you got question marks on whether you want to go, just go. It's our last home game. Watch Naz, watch Taru. There's so many players to be excited about. Max Hall, I want to see him in the guts in this game more so. He played, I think, 100% centre bounce attendances in the last quarter, and he was probably the best midfielder in the last quarter, outside of Naz, who probably was more a forward in that quarter. Max Hall was sublime, and kudos to him. He's going to sign a 2-year deal, so that should be announced at some point, which is exciting. So big game, just in the fact that we want to see that continuance of that last quarter momentum. And then you've got Richmond and Essendon, so we can finish with a flurry, and then the Giants, who were flogged last night. So who knows? We might even finish the season unbeaten in the last 5. That'd be absolutely ridiculous. But let's not jump the gun. Sunday, 1:40 p.m, Marvel Stadium against North. They are going to want to respond, just weather the storm, Saners. They will come out, but Will they maintain that for more than 2 quarters? Who knows? As long as we're in the game, I think we're absolutely a shout to take it home by hopefully a margin 5-6 goals I'd be comfortable with, but we'll see. On that note, Sainers, let me know how you're feeling about the game. To be honest, I haven't really thought about this game all week up until this very second, because I've just been enjoying reading up on all the good comments and rewatching the last quarter several times. I think we've all been in that boat this week. It's kind of been a week where nothing else really gets done, but life does go on, and as much as we don't want to move on from the last quarter last week, we do. And North Melbourne offers a new test for us, and hopefully we can get the chocolate. So thanks again for watching, Sainers. Please comment your thoughts on the upcoming game. Please like the video, and more importantly, subscribe as well. We got a bunch of subscribers last weekend because of the result, but let's just continue to build and hopefully get over 15K and 16K. So thanks very much, Sainers. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and I'll see you at the game on Sunday. Take care, and as always, go you mighty Sainers. See you guys.